2012, and I am interviewing Mrs. Virginia Hendrickson.
I was in high school, graduated in 1933, so I was 17, and I guess I was 18 right after I graduated. I grew up on Jefferson Street right here in Eugene, 1639 Jefferson. My parents bought a nice big house and on that street, and I had two sisters, an older sister and a younger sister, and Jefferson Street was the edge of town then. There was the fairgrounds were there, but there were not many houses west of Jefferson. It was just a nice place to grow up, nice neighborhood, nice and safe. My grandparents lived down the next block. We hiked, climbed Spencer's Butte many times. I hope that kids still climb Spencer's Butte because it's a nice climb, it's a nice hike. We went, as a family, we went camping every summer, to lots of places, lots of state and national parks. It was tough, but it was tough on everybody. My father worked for a large lumber company in the office, and the Depression was very hard on the lumber business, and the mills were closing and towns were going broke, and people were losing jobs just right and left. And my father's job was, well, it was a well-paying job, and as my older sister was in university and I was ready to finish high school and start university, they cut his salary, and they cut and they cut and they cut till finally he couldn't maintain our household anymore. Everybody was in the same boat. It was no disgrace to not have money. There were a lot of things we couldn't do because we didn't have the money, but we always had plenty to eat. And my mother was a great seamstress and had 3 daughters to dress, and we always had nice clothing. And we fed people who came to the door and asked, can I do some work for some food? I didn't have any active duty, but he knew that Hitler was a menace and that there was going to be trouble. And there was.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess how to get along with all kinds of people. And to be honest, my newspaper training was be honest and fair, and that was wonderful training because don't tell lies. There seems to be a wider spread between the haves and the have-nots. Financially, we worked hard and we were always frugal. Our kids got educated. Well, they always had enough clothes. They always got to the doctor and to the dentist. I did without a car, and I walked to work because we could only afford one car, and that went out to North High every day. But we just learned how to be frugal and to get along without having to go into debt. But I don't know whether people know that anymore. My daughter was growing up and all this sexual changes, and I thought that's just going to lead to problems. We had the same, people have always had sex, and when I was in school and in high school, I don't know. Once in a while a girl would disappear and go off and live with Annie till she had her baby. And but not very often. There weren't very many that I was aware of. In university, there were girls that you knew were easy sex objects, not very many of them. So, but then, when my daughter gets to college age, there's all this sexual freedom, and I thought something as bad is not going to be a good situation. So many of those girls that she knew that I watched grow up, because I had Girl Scouts and brownies and all that kind of thing, are divorced. I feel badly about that. There has to be some answer to that. All that freedom was not good. Boys will be boys. Not a very nice world right now. I hope it gets better. Yeah. There are lots of things. There's wonderful music, there's wonderful writing, there's wonderful stuff to read, and there are beautiful things to see, so at least the world's going to still have that good stuff. I liked classical music. I studied classical music all my life. It's the kind of music I like, although I used to like dancing. We used to dance. There was a wonderful place to go dancing. I guess they don't do that anymore, do they?
It's coming back.
Is it coming back? Because there was a place out called Willamette Park, out on beyond Springfield there, out past Glenwood, right on the river, and it was a nice place, and you had to have a date to go there. You couldn't go stag, and always a good orchestra. Oh, it was not. It was before jitterbugging. It was. What did we do? I hate to say foxtrot, but but it was just that kind of danced with your partner, hold on to each other,